Christianity, one of the world's largest religions today, began as a small and often misunderstood movement in the Roman Empire. Its early followers faced immense hardship, oppression, and even death for their faith. But what was life like for these early Christians? And how did their struggles shape the faith we know today? Join us as we uncover the powerful story of Christianity's early days and the remarkable courage of those who stood firm in the face of persecution. In the 1st century, Christianity emerged from within Judaism, centered around the belief that Jesus of Nazareth was the long-awaited Messiah. His teachings of love, humility, and devotion to one true God attracted a growing following. However, this new movement quickly found itself at odds with both Jewish authorities and the Roman Empire. The Romans were known for their religious tolerance, as long as conquered peoples honored the emperor and participated in the imperial cult. While Jews were granted an exemption from this practice, Christians, seen as a distinct and growing sect, were not. Their refusal to worship Roman gods or offer sacrifices to the emperor was viewed as an act of defiance, a challenge to the empire's authority. This refusal, combined with rumors and misunderstandings, such as accusations of cannibalism due to the Eucharist, fueled hostility toward the Christians. The result? Persecution. From social ostracization to imprisonment, torture, and execution, being a Christian in the early centuries was a dangerous choice. One of the most well-documented examples of early Christian persecution is the martyrdom of Polycarp, the bishop of Smyrna, around 155 after Christ. Polycarp was a disciple of the Apostle John, making him a crucial link between the earliest Christians and the next generation of believers. When Roman authorities arrested Polycarp and demanded that he renounce his faith by swearing allegiance to the emperor, he refused. He boldly declared, "86 years I have served Christ, and he has done me no wrong. How can I blaspheme my king who saved me?" Despite his age, Polycarp was sentenced to death by burning. Witnesses recorded that the flames did not consume him as expected, and he was ultimately killed by the sword. His story, preserved in the martyrdom of Polycarp, became a source of inspiration for persecuted Christians across the empire. But he was not alone. His death was part of a larger pattern of martyrdom that would shape the identity of early Christianity. Polycarp's story was just one among many. Persecution of Christians intensified under several Roman emperors, often serving as a means to scapegoat or control dissent. One of the most infamous waves of persecution came under Emperor Nero in 64 after Christ. After the Great Fire of Rome devastated large sections of the city, Nero needed someone to blame. He pointed the finger at the Christians, ordering brutal executions. According to the historian Tacitus, many were crucified, burned alive as human torches, or thrown to wild beasts in the Colosseum for public entertainment. Later emperors, such as Domitian and Marcus Aurelius, continued to see Christianity as a destabilizing force, leading to further crackdowns. However, the suffering of these early believers only fueled the movement's growth. Tertullian, an early Christian writer, famously said, "The blood of the martyrs is the seed of the church." Rather than being stamped out, Christianity spread its followers emboldened by the unwavering faith of those who died for their beliefs. One of the most harrowing accounts of mass persecution took place in 1777 after Christ in the Roman city of Lugdunum, now modern-day Lyon, France. A group of Christians, including a young slave woman named Blandina, were arrested and accused of refusing to worship the Roman gods. Tortured for days, Blandina endured unimaginable suffering. Yet, she refused to recant her faith. When interrogators asked her who she was, she simply responded, "I am a Christian, and nothing evil happens among us." She was ultimately thrown to the wild beasts in the arena, but miraculously survived. She was then tied to a stake, where she continued to pray until she was finally killed. The martyrs of Lyons, including Blandina and many others, showed how persecution was not just about individuals. It was about communities standing together in faith. Their story spread far beyond Gaul, which is modern-day France, strengthening Christian unity across the empire. For nearly 3 centuries, Christianity remained an underground and often persecuted movement. However, the tides began to turn in the early 4th century. In 312 after Christ, Emperor Constantine reportedly had a vision before a crucial battle, seeing a cross in the sky with the words, "In this sign, you will conquer." After his victory, Constantine issued the Edict of Milan in 313 after Christ, granting Christians legal status and ending state-sponsored persecution. By the end of the 4th century, under Emperor Theodosius I, Christianity had become the official religion of the Roman Empire. What began as a small, oppressed movement had now transformed into a dominant faith that would shape world history for centuries to come. The early days of Christianity were marked by trials, suffering, and sacrifice, but also by extraordinary faith and resilience. Stories like those of Polycarp, Blandina, and the countless unnamed martyrs remind us of the power of conviction. Their courage did not just preserve their faith, it propelled Christianity forward, ultimately transforming an empire and changing the course of history. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. If you found this video meaningful, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of faith, courage, and inspiration. Until next time, keep learning.